Ahoy guys and welcome. Today I will be showing you how we can create and implement webcam mask shapes so that if you're like me and don't have a green screen, you can get away from having just a boring squared rectangle shape for your web camera. We're going to do this today just using Affinity Designer for the most part, working with simple shapes and just using adding and subtracting to create this shape that you see here right now. And then we're going to go into OBS and add it to our web camera so that we get the shape in, basically. Now, if you just want to see how to implement the shape and not really interested in how to make it, there should be a chapter down now below in the timeline there, so you can just skip ahead. But with that said, let's just jump in, right? Okay, so I'll open up just an empty new document here in Affinity Designer. I've decided to go with 1920 by 1080. But the important thing here is that you want to keep to your webcam's aspect ratio. So if it's like a -69, maybe yours is in 4:3 or something else. But sticking to your aspect ratio will help. We're also going to export out in a smaller size later, but I just like to work in bigger sizes. Gives me a bit more extra room. Anyways, we're going to start off with just making a big square that covers the whole background. And we're going to fill it with black. The important thing really to just remember with this when it comes to these webcam masks is simply that black hides and white shows. So if we would just apply this, our webcam would be completely hidden because nothing shows, everything's black. I'm going to start off with one circle. I'm holding in shift to keep everything uniform when I get it in, so it's a perfect circle, and we're going to make it white. So this would in turn, this would simply be a white or a round webcam shape. Which some people like, but we're gonna do a little bit more, be a little bit more artistic now. Try out some shapes, and like I said earlier, we're just gonna stick with adding and subtracting shapes. So using mainly these two, add and subtract. So actually, first I'm also gonna convert this into. I just forgetting how this is there. Convert to curves, because right now it's takes us just as an ellipse circle shape, which we cannot really do much with. You see, if I go into this node tool enter, I can't select any of the nodes. Take that back, and then we go back into here, and I've taken that into control return as a hotkey, because I use that a lot. So now you see I can now go in and change the points, these nodes. What I'm going to do first is just I'm going to go around in this, and I'm just going to create a little bit of this uneven form on it. Make this shape a little bit more interesting. This, just dirty with this. Then I'm gonna go into the pen tool, start drawing some shapes here. I'm not really much about this. I think I want to try to make this like a little like paint splatter. Getting that splash effect. This, and to make it easier, I'm going to turn off stroke and a bit better while we're working here. Like this, and then to get, now you see when I do these Bezier curves, it moves both sides. To stop it doing that, you can hold in Alt, and then when you're holding in Alt and dragging, it disconnects that. So if I now just clicks on this, it only takes that one curve, that one handle. So you see that actually hasn't got any handles, and then you can just go in here and convert that to smooth and get that handle. So this one too. Sharper. Like that, maybe get a little bit more velocity feel to you. Then I also want to go in here, and I think I want from here a little bit of a shape. Going here and move your stroke, but I'm gonna paint you. We're gonna go in and combine these shapes a bit later, but right now I just want to get like the feel and how it looks. And it's very easy to just work with these black and white values, shapes. Ellipses, and we're gonna do the same thing, convert them to curves, and then we're just gonna wobble them up. Like I said earlier, just holding and shift when you make this, keep them scaling up uniformly. You get the perfect square. Think something like that. I think I'm happy with trying out that. It almost looks a bit like a face actually. So what I'm gonna do now is that as long as you have your main shape at the bottom, I can now start to go in and then select the one on top. Control select the one on top, layer on top here. So these two, and then I press the little button up here, add. Now I can see it merges these two shapes together. This becomes one. The same with the one up there. Now we have all of this. Now when I come to this black one, I'm gonna instead use the subtract, which is almost the same operation, but instead of adding, it takes away. So now you see the shape removes this part up here. And since it's all now just adding together, just select all of them on top, adds, and that's one shape. Only thing to keep in mind is that if I want to keep removing something like this, the shape you want to have remaining i.e. this, the big white one, has to be on the bottom. If we do like this, and then subtract, it removes this piece. So, for example, I'm gonna make it gray. We do opposite. This piece remains. So that's just something to keep in mind. The layer order matters. But I think I'm happy with this. So we're gonna save this out. So Control Alt S, and we get the export settings. I'm gonna make this down to 720 p, just to save a bit on resources, because my web camera is rarely that big. So I like to then save a bit on resources and have a bit of a lower res picture for that. We're just gonna go ahead and save out that, and then we're gonna move over to OBS, and I'm gonna show you guys how to add it all together. So we're in OBS. I'm using Streamlabs OBS, but don't worry, OBS works in the exact same way when it comes to this. So I have my webcam here. I'm gonna select it down in sources, and right click and go to filters. Here I'm gonna just click the little plus icon and add the image mask blends type. I think that's the first one that pops up, but if not, you can just search it up. I'm not gonna bother with the name there. Done. So you see we have different options for the type. Sticking it to alpha mask color channel, then it will read the black and white values as we worked with. But if you have other images that has an alpha channel something instead, that will also work, but we're gonna stick it there and don't think about it. Gonna find the path, add it in, and really magic. It just simply works. Just press done, and there you have it. If we would have worked in different aspect ratios for this, it would we would have a lot of problems. You could try to stretch the image, but I've found that leads to a lot of artifacts and usually don't work very well, because you end up stretching your shape, and it's hard to imagining that when you're working. So that is really it, guys. That's all it needs, and then you get to do a bit more with your boring webcam shape. And then if you have any kind of interesting frames around that, you could make yourself into an astronaut with an astronaut helmet, or being in a TV or whatever like that. So if you guys actually have any interesting shapes you use, feel free to share them at me, or if you have any other art, I love to see them. Tag me on Twitter or on Instagram, or post them on our Discord. All links for that is in the doobly-doo below. And if you like this, feel free to like the video, subscribe to the channel, that helps out a lot, and comment below what you would like to see next. So thank you so much, guys. Be safe out there and have a good time. Bye.